Alright, welcome to Right On with John Crane. This is Champion Blower and Forge Post Drill Press Part 2. And as you can see here, I'm moving and shaking in the shop. I'm working on these parts. I'm wire wheeling, I'm sanding, I'm grinding. I got the Bridgeport here all covered up with a tarp, keep this grinding dust off, as well as some other machinery here in the shop. Got the tarps out, right? Keep everything nice and clean. This dust isn't good to get on the machines. And as you can see, I'm working on that big flywheel pulley there. And that is a pulley that you could run that drill press off of a line shaft type of thing. But it's also a flywheel. So if you're hand cranking that drill press, which is what I'll be doing, it also acts as a flywheel that will have some momentum to drive the drill press there. So that's coming out pretty good. And I'm going to head over to the lathe there and show you what I'm doing. But first, I got something I got to take care of here. All right, the other day there, 805 Road King, he gave me a shout out on his YouTube channel there, and he pushed me over the 1,000 subscriber mark on my channel. So I just want to give a big thanks to him. He sent me out a sticker there, and I'm going to put this up here in the shop, right? Stick this up here right next to the old Randy Richards there. And let's see, barely fits on my little board here. But I want to say a big thanks there to Everett, 805 Road King. You know, I really appreciate that. Giving me that shout out there, pushing me over the 1,000 mark. And, you know, it's such a cool community here, this YouTube community. And connecting with all these different guys working in their shop, and it's just such a blast. And 805 Road King right there, he's from my neck of the woods where I used to live in New Jersey. I'm up north there, he's down a little bit further south. And right, we got the Garden State here. And for a little celebration, I think I got to celebrate with some tasty cakes. All right, I want to say thanks a lot to all the subscribers that came over from 805 Road King. I really appreciate it. I've got lots of projects here going on in the shop. And a lot of times the projects going on here in the shop are jobs that I'm doing for customers, right? Those kinds of jobs here is what keeps the lights on here in the shop and keep me going. And then other times I'm working on projects like this where I'm doing a restoration for myself. Other times, you know, I'm doing, working on a product that I'm selling in the shop here, that type of thing. But I do a wide variety of things here, you know, from working on the milling machine, doing machining on the lathe. Sometimes I'm doing sewing. Sometimes I'm doing some woodworking. So I'm not a one-trick pony here. I'm always working on something. I have so many interests. So I like sharing those with you guys, as you've seen in some of my Taylor Ham Tuesday videos there. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I might do one of those just once a month. So, all right, enough talking here. I'm going to have a tasty cake, and then I'm going to head over to the lathe and show you what I'm doing over there on that big pulley. All right, here's the setup that I got going on here on the LeBlanc. Now, you guys saw me earlier making this mandrel here to mount this pulley so I can turn the outside. That's the whole goal here, is to smooth down this surface right here on this flat belt pulley. So I took a piece of 1-inch stock, I turned it down to 15/16, which is the bore here on this pulley, and then I clamped it down with this set screw. Now, oddly enough, the set screw, that's a half 14 thread there. Now, that's weird, right? Because most threads, you know, it's half 13 is what we're used to. And half 14 is a real odd size. But I got a tap for that. I tapped that out and clamped that down with that bolt there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, if we look at this pulley, right? Now, a lot of times these flat belt pulleys, they'll have a little crown in it. And this one's got a crown here, right? Sometimes they're just perfectly flat. Other times they got a crown like this. So when I look at this with a straight edge here, I can see it's just a flat bevel from here to here and here to here. Actually, there's a little dimple here in these two areas where it actually goes in a little bit. It's not perfectly flat. So what I'm going to do is come in I got this boring bar set up. I'm going to use that to cut right here to the tip of this and then cut right down there. And I'm going to do that using the compound, right? I'm going to use the compound feed, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this over, and actually what I want to do is I want to extend this boring bar out just temporarily here. So I'll loosen up these. All right, I'm going to slide this out. I just want to clamp this up. Right, and I'm not going to turn this into some, lesson on metrology here. I just want to get this pulley cleaned up, right? So I'm just going to move this in. And if I loosen this compound here, right, so that's loose, right? So you can see I can move this. And all I'm going to do is crank this in until this is nice and flat. And that looks, let's see, just like that. I'm going to lock down the compound right in that position. And now I'll actually move this boring bar back. And what I want to be able to do is to move this compound starting here and just coming to the center. So I'm just seeing the travel that I got on the compound. And I think I want to be out a little bit further. I think just like that. All right, so I'll tighten these down. Actually, it looks like I can adjust that a little bit. All right, let's see how we do here. I got the carriage locked here, and I'm just going to be moving the compound here, and then I'll move the cross slide here to go in and out on this surface here. So I'm just going to start taking light pass here. All right, this is coming along pretty good here. As you can see and hear, there's a little bit of harmonics going on. There's a little bit of vibration in this part here. I'm gonna try changing up the speed and see if I can shift that around. All right, as you can see there, much better. Lost the harmonics there, the wah-wahs, and I'm almost about halfway there. Another couple cuts. Alright, it is definitely a good experiment in harmonics there with a different thickness here, and just trying to find the happy medium on the speed there. And it was interesting, some speeds it was smooth here, but then as it got to the thicker section in the center, right, the harmonics picked up there and it got a little bit of chatter, and then changed the speed around and you got chatter on the outside and then smooth on the inside. And so this speed here seemed like a happy medium there. And I'm probably going to end up sanding this surface down, but this is it's cleaning up real nice. So now I'm going to shift around and I'm going to do the pitch on this side here. All right, so I'm just going to tilt the compound to the other direction there. And I can see down here on the witness mark that I'm at 85. So I'm going to spin this around until I get 85 here on the other side. All right, so there's 85 right there. I'll tighten this up. Gonna come in with a little sandpaper here and sand this out, right? I got the combination of kind of the nice cuts and then some of the harmonic vibration here. I know I could have gripped this up in a different way, maybe chucked from the inside, but I like how this is sitting on this mandrel. That's how it's gonna sit on the drill press. And so now I'm just gonna sand this out and smooth this up. look at that. This is coming out fabulous. I'm really liking the finish on that. And I don't know how much further I'm gonna take it. This might be the extent of it. I'm just going up, I think this is a 120 grit paper here. And that might be all I'm gonna do on that one. All right, now the plan is to face off the hub here. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move this out on this little mandrel that I made here. So I'll loosen this up. And I'm just gonna put this just past the end there, and then I'm gonna move this mandrel in the chuck here, so it's closer to the chuck, and it's a lot more stable. Right, and I'm gonna have to get out the indicator here and indicate this again. I think that's pretty good for what we're doing here. Just facing this off, I'll flip it, and then I'll face it off again. Let's see, maybe I can get in here and loosen up this so I can just flip this around. Yeah, nice. All right, kind of nice. All right, here's Scout Crafter talking about those square head bolts, right? And yeah, sometimes the hex is nice. You got to get crafty here with these square head bolts. Aha, here we go. Maybe, maybe. All right, that looks like it did it. Nice. All right, flip this over and we'll clean up the other side. All right, let's see, I'll stick this out here a little bit. I'm gonna take off all this chowder there. Looks like someone's been beating on that with a hammer. All right, so just like that, looks nice. Right? Huh? Looking pretty sweet now compared to what that did look like. All right, so now I'm just gonna touch up any little things that you know, might catch my eye here. I got the old kind of worn out flapper discs there, so it's not too aggressive. You know, it's hard to you know, where these gates and the sprues were from the casting there. It's hard to blend that in. I do like this kind of pebble finish here from the casting, but you know, some of these I might break this down just a hair, just touch up, but I don't want to, you know, make a big blemish in it by sanding too much on those things. All right, now it's time to give this a little cleanup. I got some acetone here. I'm just gonna start, giving this the brush down here and try to get in all these little nooks and crannies and give this a nice cleanup here. All right, now I'm just gonna start masking off this pulley here and just getting it ready for some primer. Let's see if I can flex this tape here around this edge. Alright, now I'm just coming in with a little Rust-Oleum primer here, and for this I like going in with the artist brush here. Now this has some nice bristles on it. You can do some nice detail work with a brush like this, and right, it's a lot better than a house paintbrush type of thing like that, right? This you have a lot more control. Something about a brushed finish that I just really like as opposed to spray paint, and I just think brushing it on, I don't know if it's just because it's an old school way of doing it, but I like the texture of the paint and how it turns out, so I'd much rather brush it on. I always feel like I'm getting a much better quality job. I'm getting thicker coats of paint on the project rather than the spray paint always just seems so thin. But I think this is going to turn out really nice. Yeah, Road King there, he was asking about Jeremiah Johnson there, finding out the story. I sent him that picture of Jeremiah Johnson when I shipped him that bag that I made. And, right, Jeremiah Johnson, for me, I saw that movie when I was a kid. I was young. I think my brother showed it to me, and what an amazing movie. The cinematography, and, growing up in New Jersey there, we got mountains there. We got the Appalachian Mountains, but nothing like the Rocky Mountains. And when I saw that, boy, that put some spark in my mind there. And that was a lot of the influence of me heading out west, just wanting to check out the mountains. And yeah, Jeremiah Johnson. What a great story too, right? Heading up in the mountains to be a mountain man. So if you haven't seen Jeremiah Johnson, I definitely recommend it. I think it's one of the all-time great movies there, and such great cinematography. right, there's the first coat of primer, and I'm going to put a couple coats of primer on this, a couple coats of paint. It's going to get a coat of clear to protect this metal finish here on the outside. And as you can see, this is no splash and dash project. This is only the pulley of the drill press here, right? There's lots of parts to go, lots of things to work on this drill press. And right, this pulley here took up an entire video. The other parts aren't going to take up a whole video, but there was a lot going on this, right? We've got this up on the lathe, we're cleaning it, we're painting it, there's a lot to go. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you're doing great, and I'll see you all soon. All right, right on.